Hello, my name is Omar Pineda, and today I'm going to talk about my opinion on the Arconel 0318 resolution. This resolution is the one that talks about the photovoltaic generation on individual homes. Very well. First of all, what is the 0318 resolution? After all, if we're going to talk about this topic, it's very important that we know about this topic. So, first of all, what does this mean? This resolution allows for the photovoltaic generation for the self-sustainment of final consumers of electric energy. In other words, every single consumer, every single client of the electric company now has the right to produce their own electricity by the use of photovoltaic generation. This resolution establishes the conditions necessary for development and implementation participation of consumers with photovoltaic generation. This means that it is possible for every single person to just start putting their own panels in the network, as long as it only affects their own places. So, what are the characteristics that are necessary in order to install the MUSFB, which means microsistema fotovoltaico or micro photovoltaic system? The project must connect to a low minimum voltage distribution network. After all, we must be available at network in order to be connected to the system, because in the case that we produce too much electricity, this electricity is going to go to the network. The interested party must be the owner of property where the micro SSB is being installed. In other words, it is important that the person that is installing it is the owner of the place, is the owner of the house, the terrain. After all, if we are installing a photovoltaic panel in a place that is not owned, maybe an apartment, this may cause problems for the proper owner of the place. The design of the micro SSB must reduce electric consumption of the network. It's very important to consider this step. After all, if you are installing a very fancy micro SSB or photovoltaic panel that perhaps has seeking as one of the features, this may mean that it may consume more electricity than the one that is producing in order to feed all of the features. The installation of the micro SSB is conditioned to the feasibility of the distributor. Depending on the distributor, it might just not be possible to install this type of photovoltaic generation. They may not have the capacity to permit this type of devices, and the nominal capacity can be over 100 kilowatts. This is also very important for a network, in other words, for the distributor. After all, we can affect the network that we're connecting to. If we do that, then we run into several problems for the proper distribution company and the electric companies, and then they might just say, no, you can install that photovoltaic panel. Here we see what is the installation of the micro SSB. Here we have the photovoltaic panels, the inverter in order to go to our network, our bidirectional measurement unit, and obviously the network that we're connecting to. This is very important because it measures for the electricity that is coming from the network to our home and the electricity that we're producing that goes to the network. And this is very important in order to also measure that characteristic that we talk about of the 100 kilowatts that can only be produced by the panels. So, what does it mean for the user? First of all, this is about my own opinion about the matter. So I think that it is a legal option to installing photovoltaic systems. After all, before this resolution, it wasn't very effective, the type of regulation that there was. After all, any electric company could just say, no, you can't install the panel because it produces problems on my network. So just don't. It lowers the burden of the network. After all, since we are now giving a specific characteristic for every single photovoltaic panel, there can only be so much that can be produced. Like I said, there is a limit of 100 kilowatts. That is very important in order to not overextend the network that may have to deal with a lot of photovoltaic panels in a near future, and this might just overload the network. More importantly, given a better position to study the system. First of all, that formula that is over there calculates the nominal capacity of our new panel, which is the monthly energy that is consumed divided for the factor of the plant times 8,760. So what does the standard procedure of this system means? Well, like we already showed in the previous picture, it gives a very defined set of steps that every single consumer is going to need to follow in order to install this panel. This uh, gives a certain confidence to the network or the producer or the distributor that the ones that are going to be installing these panels, these type of systems, these micro SFPs, are going to have a proper system that is going to be injecting power on the network. This is going to protect both the network and the user. It is very important, this regulation. In my honest opinion, this regulation is extremely good for both the consumer and the distributor. After all, we can't just go ahead and allow anyone to install anything that is going to be connected to the network, to electric network. After all, to this day, there are simply not that many self-sustaining houses that can just produce their own energy, consume it, and work on its own. They are going to be needing, probably in most cases, the electric companies that are on the area. And of course, this is very important. After all, we can't just go ahead and stop the development of self-sustaining networks. So giving this type of resolutions that search for a middle ground in which both the consumer have a very good improvement of the quality of life, or maybe a reduction on the prices by the use of this alternative energy, and also protecting the networks, protecting the distributor, protecting the electric companies that are going to be receiving this energy in the case of excesses, that are going to be finding problems maybe with the network, and then they are going to be needing to have a certain assurance that the ones that are being connected to these networks are safe. Thank you very much. That is my opinion on the matter. My name is Omar Pineda. That's all.